Hi, welcome to my channel English Audio Stories. Ready for today's English story? Let's go. At the bus stop. Chapter 1. The Morning Walk. David woke up early on Monday morning. The sun was shining and the sky was blue. He had a small bag with him because he was going to the city. David lived in a quiet village, and the bus stop was only 10 minutes from his house. He put on his jacket, closed the door, and started walking down the street. The village was calm at this hour. A few people were in their gardens, watering flowers or feeding chickens. David smiled and said hello to Mrs. Green, the old lady who lived next door. She waved back with a friendly smile. As David walked, he thought about the city. He wanted to visit the library and buy a new notebook. He also planned to meet his cousin Mark for lunch. David liked going to the city, but he didn't go often, so each trip felt special. When he reached the bus stop, he saw two children sitting on the bench. They were waiting for the school bus. David sat down on the other side and looked at the road. The city bus would come later, after the children's bus. David checked his watch. He was early. He enjoyed the fresh air and the sound of birds in the trees. Soon, the children's bus arrived. The children got on, and the bench was empty again. Now David was alone at the bus stop, waiting for his bus to the city. Chapter 2. A Strange Bag. David looked around while he waited. The street was still quiet. Across the road stood a tall tree, and next to it was a small bench. Suddenly, he noticed something unusual under the bench. It was a black bag. The bag looked heavy, and no one was near it. David looked around again, but the road was empty. He wondered who had left it there. Slowly, he stood up and walked closer. The bag was old but clean. It was closed and there was no name on it. David thought about what to do. Should he open it? Or should he wait and see if someone came back for it? He didn't want to be rude, so he sat back on his bench and kept watching the bag. Minutes passed. A man on a bicycle rode by but didn't stop. Then a young woman walked past with her dog, but she didn't even look at the bag. It seemed like nobody cared. David felt curious. Maybe it was just full of clothes, or maybe it was something important. He stood up again, went to the bag, and touched it carefully. It was heavy. His heart beat a little faster. Just then, he heard the sound of a bus coming down the road. It wasn't his city bus yet. It was another school bus. The bus stopped, children got off, and one boy suddenly shouted, "My bag! I forgot my bag." David turned to the boy, holding the black bag in his hands. Chapter 3. Meeting Tom. David held the bag and looked at the boy who had just come from the bus. The boy was about 12 years old, with short brown hair and a blue school uniform. He ran quickly toward David, his face red from running. "That's my bag." "Thank you," the boy said, breathing hard. He took the bag from David and hugged it tightly. David smiled. "I saw it under the bench. I was not sure who it belonged to. I'm glad you came back." The boy nodded. "I forgot it on the way to the bus. I was thinking about my homework and didn't see it." He looked a little embarrassed, but also very happy to have his bag again. "What's your name?" David asked kindly. "Tom," the boy answered. "And you?" "I'm David," he replied. "Are you going to school in the city?" Tom shook his head. "No, my school is just 2 stops away. But I need this bag. It has my books, my lunch, and a picture for art class." He opened the bag a little to check. Then he smiled with relief. Everything was still inside. The bus driver waited a moment and called, "Come on, Tom, we need to go." Tom looked at David. "Thank you again. You are very kind. Have a good trip to the city." He ran back to the bus, holding the bag tightly this time. David waved and sat down on the bench again. He felt good about helping someone. The road was quiet once more and the bus drove away. Now he was alone again, waiting for his own bus. But his morning already felt special. Chapter 4. The Ride to the City. After a short while, David finally saw the city bus coming down the road. It was white and green, with big windows that shone in the sunlight. He stood up, picked up his small bag, and waited as the bus stopped in front of him. The door opened with a click, and the driver gave him a friendly nod. "Good morning," David said as he climbed in. He paid for the ticket and walked slowly down the aisle, looking for a place to sit. The bus was not full. A few people were reading newspapers, some were looking out the window, and one young man was listening to music with earphones. David chose a seat near the window. He liked to watch the road and the fields outside. The bus started moving, and the village houses slowly disappeared behind him. Soon there were wide green fields, cows in the distance, and small forests by the road. As the bus moved on, David thought about Tom and the forgotten bag. He smiled quietly. Helping someone had made his morning brighter. He hoped the boy would have a good day at school. The ride continued. The bus passed through another small village where two women got on. They sat behind David and started talking about their shopping plans. Their cheerful voices filled the air. David listened for a while, but then looked back out of the window. After about 40 minutes, tall buildings began to appear in the distance. The city was near. David felt excited. He thought of the library, the new notebook he wanted to buy, and the lunch with his cousin Mark. The bus slowed down as it entered the busy streets of the city. Cars, bicycles, and people were everywhere. Soon the driver called, "Central Station!" and the bus stopped. David stood up, ready for his day in the city. Chapter 5. A Good Day in the City. David stepped off the bus and looked around. The city was busy and full of life. People hurried in many directions, carrying bags, talking on phones, or drinking coffee from paper cups. David walked slowly, enjoying the change of pace after his quiet village. His first stop was the library. The large building stood near the station with tall glass doors. Inside, it was calm and quiet. David spent some time looking at books, and finally chose a small book about history. He also found the notebook he wanted in the library shop. With his new things in his bag, he felt satisfied. Later, he walked to the cafe where he was going to meet his cousin. Mark was already there, waving at him from a table by the window. "David! Over here!" he called. They ordered lunch and talked for a long time. Mark told funny stories about his work, and David shared the story of Tom and the forgotten bag. Mark laughed. "You are always in the right place at the right time, cousin. That boy will remember your kindness." After lunch, they walked together through the city streets. The sun was warm, and the sky was still clear. David enjoyed looking at the shops, buses, and tall buildings. It was different from the village, but he liked both places for their own reasons. When the afternoon came, David knew it was time to go back. He said goodbye to Mark and walked to the bus station. As he sat down on the bus, he thought about the whole day. It was simple, but full of small good things. A morning walk, helping a boy, reading in the library, and laughing with family. David smiled. Life, he thought, was better when you noticed the small moments. Great job. You finished the story. Keep listening, keep learning, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.